What is this foolishness?
How many dreams can you shape in a minute, an hour?
The kind of clean you like best.
Lost 3 of my teeth, too. All right, so you lost. Next time you'll win.
Steamy, hot, hearty, delicious, invigorating.
Folks at home, how you doing tonight? Welcome to a brand new Ike Live Show. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. I've got a very, very small studio here tonight for you. We're going to have Pete Glusick, who normally sits right next to me. You're going to see this chair, this seat next to me, the couch seat, is empty. And that's for a reason. And even on the Ike Live Show here, we're going to be practicing the state and federal guidelines on social distancing. So we've got a small group here tonight up here in the studio. The one and only Brian the Carpenter is pushing buttons for us tonight and producing the show and making it happen. Brian, how you doing tonight?
I'm good, man. Rolling solo.
Rolling solo by yourself. So we've got no Rizzo.
No Rizzo.
We've got no Pete. We've got no Fathead.
No Becky.
We've got no Beck, and we've got no Zog. So it's a little smaller studio tonight. But I appreciate you coming out. I know it's a little strange, but let me remind everybody watching right now. I know one of the first things people are thinking they're gonna pick on us about is, are we practicing social distancing? I want to assure you that where I'm at on the couch, I'm 7 to 8 feet. 8 feet. A good 8 feet, maybe 9 feet.
That's right.
From where Brian the Carpenter's at, and we're doing the right things. We're washing our hands. We're doing all that stuff. So I want to assure you that. But listen to me. Thank you for tuning in. It's a crazy time, but this is going to be a good show. And we've got 2 segments tonight planned for you. And they're going to be 2 really, 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 really good segments. In our first segment, we're going to be joined by Mr. Glenn Hughes. And Glenn is the current president of the ASA, which is the American Sport Fishing Association. And, we're going to be talking to Glenn about what's going on in the world right now as it relates to the sport, the recreation activity that we love, which is fishing. There's different takes on it, and we're going to flush it out tonight. Should we be fishing at all right now? Is it all right to go fishing? Is fishing one of the best things you could do right now with social distancing, being outdoors? I think it is. But there's other opinions. Some people think you shouldn't be fishing. States are closing boat ramps. States are closing fishing totally. We're going to be talking to Glenn about all that. We're going to be flushing it out. And then in our second segment, we're going to be joined by the one and only Mark Daniels Jr. Mark's got to be in anybody's top 5 or top 10 list of the best, hottest anglers in the world right now. And he's a really good guy to add to that. So good angler, good guy, friend of the show. Can't wait to have Mark on. We're going to be talking to Mark about his recent event down on Lake Fork. He killed it down there, almost won. Also going to be talking to him about Major League Fishing a little bit, about his season, about what else he's doing, his business, and his family. So it's going to be really good. Let me remind everybody, Brian, we don't have Pete sitting right here next to us.
We're Peteless.
But in just a couple minutes, after we get through a couple little things, our very own Dean, the Pete Glusick, the one and only, the Knot, is going to be joining us.
The Knot.
The Pete's Knot will be joining us via Skype and Pete will be here the whole show. So don't worry, Pete's going to be here in one way or another. Brian, let's do a quick rundown of our sponsors that make this show possible.
Yeah.
Of course, the presenting sponsor of Ike Live, a mystery tackle box. It's like Christmas to your doorstep once a month. In fact, in the third segment, second segment, we're going to be doing a live unboxing tonight. So make sure you stay tuned to that. Brought to you by Founders Beer. You see the T-shirt. We're going to be drinking a bunch of different Founders tonight. Brian, what are you drinking? You've got...
I've got one of my all-time favorites. Found this last year. They're the Mosaic Promise. And
Mosaic
I haven't
Promise.
seen it since summertime, and somewhere you found it. Where did you find it?
I found it in the basement downstairs.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh.
There's still a few down there hanging around. Yeah. We're also drinking some Solid Gold tonight, and, of course, Green Zebra will be making an appearance tonight. Brought to you by TH Marine. For all the fans of Ike Live, I know if you didn't get to make the Bassmaster Classic this year, I know you saw the post. The Ike Live boat build, Brian, was, I got to tell you, I walked around that Classic, one of the biggest hits of the entire show, in my opinion.
Right, was an 89 tracker.
89 tracker, brought out of the junkyard, rebuilt from the ground up, mainly with a lot of TH products. You're going to see TH products all over that thing. People were raving about it. People couldn't stop talking about it. Had big sponsors talking about it.
Yeah, it came out awesome.
Came out awesome. And, of course, the other part of that boat build that was the buzz of the show was the motor on the back.
Yeah, the Torpedo.
The Torpedo. Yep. When you're dealing with places that you can't run a gas, when you're dealing with small bodies of water, small boat builds like the Ike Live boat build, it's the perfect motor. Wouldn't you agree, Brian Carpenter?
Absolutely. I mean, dude, it's electric only. We're all electric only in Jersey, but 90%. So, I mean,
yes.
Vegas is the only one with the faster boat than me.
Yes, it's crazy. It's crazy. Also brought to you by Dr. Squatch. What a great time to talk about soap. It's got to be on your radar right now to pay attention to what you're doing, to wash your hands a lot, especially if you're out and about. And Dr. Squatch is a great soap. It's funny because I've been carrying Dr. Squatch with me when I travel nonstop. I have it in my travel bag when I'm fishing tournaments. I have a bar in my big boat. I have a bar in my truck. So be conscious of it. Check Dr. Squatch out. It's a great product. Liquid Mayhem. If you like fishing, you like using scent, give it a try. And, of course, Flambeau. Flambeau, maker of great tackle storage systems. Also, Tackle Warehouse, Brian Carpenter. I know a lot of people right now are jonesing. A lot of Tackle Warehouse orders being made right now. You're sitting at home. You're on the Google machine. If you want something, if it's new, go to Tackle Warehouse. 99.999% sure they've got it or they can get it to you. So
that's right. And don't, when people stop spending money, that really, I mean, the economy's a little sketchy right now. People are worried about what's going to go down, but yeah, man, keep it going.
Yeah,
try to keep things going. Don't panic.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about that in a little bit when we have Glenn Hughes on the show. We're going to be talking to Glenn about the impact it's going to have on the fishing businesses, not just fishing as a sport, but the trickle down effect from the companies, the businesses, the anglers. We got to talk to him about it. It's going to be really big. Let me remind everybody right now. Listen to me. If you've watched this show, this thing's heavy too. This has got to be in a neighborhood of 15 pounds. This is the Ike Live gift bag. It's loaded with stuff from all our sponsors. A lot of value in this bag. And if you're watching right now on Facebook, easy way to win this Ike Live gift bag is I want you to like and share this feed right now. Like and share the Facebook Ike Live feed, and you're going to be entered into a chance to win this Ike Live gift bag. And it's loaded with stuff, so please do that. Let me remind everybody also, whether you're watching on Facebook, but especially if you're watching on IkeLive.com, we want to hear from you. Your questions, your comments are so important. So as the show goes on, don't be bashful, don't be shy. Hit us up on the IMs, and we're going to be patching some of those through. We'll be giving away probably some prizes, too, for some of the better comments and questions throughout the night. So please do that. Brian,
yes.
Before we start the show, I want to take a second. Every show, we always thank our military. I want to do that right now. Men and women, active veterans, thank you for what you do. We always thank our policemen, our firemen, our EMT, especially now with the crazy stuff going on. Thank you. Thank you for what you do. But I do want to take a second, Bri, and thank some other people, because with what's going on right now, it's batty.
Yeah.
It's batty. It's a crazy, batty, bizarre world.
Yeah, it's unprecedented. We're not. I don't think we've ever dealt with anything like this.
Never dealt with
Certainly
anything
not
like
in
this.
our time.
Yeah.
I think about what's going on now, and the closest thing I can think that this country's gone through, besides the post 9/11 era, was listen to my mom or grandparents talk about when they would practice duck and cover in school, and
right.
World War II and
World War II,
things,
yep.
buckling down and blacking out the windows at night, and
yeah.
So it was like, man, that had to be a really eerie time, worrying about potential airstrikes,
yeah,
bombing strafing bombs on our cities.
Stressful.
And that's what they were preparing themselves for. So I feel like we've never, as a nation, been kind of under a threat like that since back then. But yeah, it's a weird time. And,
it's a weird time.
And like you said, the healthcare providers, what they're doing right now.
That's a big one. That's a big one. Doctors, surgeons, nurses, anyone in the medical profession on the front line, scientists working on a vaccine. Man, thank you guys. Thank you for what you're doing. It's got to be scary. I can't even pretend to imagine, gone to work every day, knowing you're surrounded by the potential, to get infected and all that stuff. So thank you. And then the other one, Brian, which I hadn't said this yet. I made a post about doctors and nurses last week, and I saw a few people chime in, and I didn't forget. I just didn't make the post yet. The people that are still working, right?
Yeah.
Truck drivers that are out there getting us stuff, getting us supplies.
Delivery drivers.
Delivery
people bringing
drivers.
Groceries to your house.
Grocery drivers.
Yeah.
People in the retail segment, whether it's food or beverage or whatever it is, that are still working. Thank you guys too. A lot of us, we get to stay at home. We get in this quarantine mode, and we feel very safe. But there's still a lot of people out there hustling and working for us. So thank you. Thank you for what you do. It's very, very important. You want to get Pete on?
Yes.
We're going to get Pete Glusick on because I feel a little naked without having him here next to me.
Yeah.
But why we get Pete on, I want to let you know that literally I drove back from Lake Fork about 2 weeks ago from our last Major League Fishing event and parked the truck and boat at home and have essentially been home nonstop since that happened. So I'm in the same boat. I know a lot of people watching and listening right now. You've been home. You've been quarantined. I'm in that same boat. Brian, for the most part, is, and I know Pete is. And I think we've got Pete joining us right now. So let me patch him in. Without further ado, the one and only, the Dean of Bash University, Mr. Pete Glusick, everybody. Pete!
Everybody.
Hey, guys. Hey, everybody. It's great to be here via Skype, man. I wish I was hanging out with you guys.
I know. Pete, we were just talking. This is, we always bust your balls about being the oldest guy, but we're actually all in the same age range. We're in our 40s and 50s. Is this the strangest thing you've dealt with in your life? Is this the most anxiety-ridden time you've ever been in your life with everything that's gone on with the coronavirus and all that stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no question. I was born, I guess, right at the tail end of the Vietnam War, and there was people talking about things like, they were having mortality, numbers come across the TV screen every night.
Yeah.
And I was just an infant at that time. I didn't really experience that, but I was talking to some people that said that they feel like this is reminding them of that, because that's what we get. I mean, we're seeing those numbers surge, with deaths every day, and boy, the three of us, talking right here, we're right on the edge of ground zero of this thing. So it's the most impactful. It's the craziest, anxiety-ridden time for me, for sure. And I'm trying to figure out how I can help the most and how I should be behaving.
Yeah.
It's a rough time. I'm psyched that you guys got to get out and go fishing today. I'm really kind of grounded. I don't get that much chance to do it.
Yeah, it was the way that we fished today, Pete. We're going to be diving into this full bore here in just a little bit. We're going to have Glenn Hughes on, president of ASA. We're going to be flushing this out. But there is a way, in my opinion, and again, this is my opinion. Brian's got an opinion. We're going to hear a lot of different opinions tonight. There's a way to be responsible and still enjoy the outdoors, right? There's a way to go fishing, to practice social distancing, to do all the stuff you're supposed to do, and still fish, And a good example, Brian and I today, we were in kayaks. We each had our own kayak. We loaded our own kayaks. We were in our own trucks. We launched. We stayed 6 to 10 feet away from each other all day, but we still had a great time. We were outdoors. We washed our hands a lot. We did everything we were supposed to do, but we were still able to engage, in the sport of fishing. Now, not everybody has that luxury, and for sure, there are people that are having that luxury taken away, and I know we want to talk about that. Pete, give me your opinion on it before we get Glenn on the phone. How do you feel about it? Should people be fishing, or should they just stay damn home?
My opinion's fluid. I mean, it's changing all the time. And if you talked to me 3 weeks ago, I had a different opinion than I have today, and I'll have a different opinion, tomorrow after we get done our conversation from tonight.
Yeah.
I think the actual sport of fishing is a great activity that is safe. You're out there, if you're by yourself in a kayak, in your boat by yourself, or keeping distance, I think it's a great activity. But, the things that concern me, and I think concern a lot of the, the legal or the governing people, is how you getting there. You're getting fuel, you're getting supplies. It's putting you out there in society at some point, to get to that destination.
Right. Yep.
And
that's right.
So
that's right.
Those are some concerns I have. I want to talk about tonight.
Yeah, and I do too. I want to flush them out. I want to flush these concerns out. And you mentioned one thing, and everybody watching, they probably know that we're in New Jersey, right? So we're in a state that has a really high rate of people that have contracted the virus. A lot of deaths in our state. We're a stone's throw away from New York City. We're a stone's throw away from Philadelphia. Wilmington, Delaware is not far. We're encapsulated by people. But what we're seeing here, Pete, there are a lot of people watching right now that are in rural areas. They're in Ohio, Iowa. They're in Texas. They're in, places that aren't affected. It's going to get to everybody at some point. All the models say this thing's spreading. So what we're talking about tonight isn't just for people that live in New Jersey and New York. This is something the whole country, the whole world has to pay attention to.
I agree 100%. We were looking at this thing like when China got it, we were like, oh, well, it's over there. And boy, it quick came over here, didn't it? And, it's sweeping and it's spreading. I do want to echo something that you said, Mike, and I think it was a powerful thing. The people on the front lines, I want to personally thank each and every one of them for what they're doing for us. People flooding to New York from all over the country to help. Man, it's amazing. It brings, tears to your eyes, the commitment that these folks are doing. But something that I heard, which I thought was awesome. I saw a feed on Dolly Parton who donated $1 million. It was the Vanderbilt Research Hospital.
Wow.
Pushing people to invest and donate in trying to find some type of prevention, some type of treatment.
Yeah.
And you said about the scientists that are out working on this thing right now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. And, I see some really encouraging things in the news that there's some possibilities of some things that might be helpful, a vaccine possibility. That is amazing. And that would really calm everybody down if we can find some type of way to manage this thing. I'm so excited about that. So appreciative that people are working hard on that.
Yeah, and we need it. We need it at this time. It's just, it's crazy. And I tell you this, Pete, it's real easy to get down and depressed, right? Like, you want to watch the news because you want to keep up on what's going on, and then the other party doesn't, right? The other party's like, man, I had enough of this. I just want to not watch it anymore, because it does get depressing at some point, I don't know the right answer, because I fight with it every day on whether to watch or whether to ignore it and not watch. I don't know the right answer to that. Brian, do you watch?
You're right. I hear you, and I would tell you a quick story in my neighborhood, because I go out and walk. I try to get some fresh air, some exercise. I try to go in hours when nobody's around, and we have these amazing sidewalk artists in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
And it's full of encouragement. We're gonna get through this. Be strong. All these positive words of encouragement all over driveways and sidewalks throughout my neighborhood.
Wow.
So it's really, really cool to see. I'm at the next time I'm gonna get some video and post some of these pictures, because I think it's amazing. Because people are having, like, they're dealing with, just like you said. I mean, you watch that news, and you can it can really put you in a dark place.
Yeah.
But we've got to fight this thing. We've got to have the will to fight, and we got to have that positive mental approach. I love to see the people in my neighborhood putting it out there, and I think there's millions of people doing the same thing.
Yeah. That's nice, and that's a country coming together, a neighborhood coming together, and that's what we need. We need more of that stuff. Brian the Carpenter, you want to what do you got there?
Yeah, I got a real negative mental approach right now. Wirecast is glitching like crazy. I'm gonna either punch this computer or shut us down.
And restart.
Reboot. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Pete. So we're gonna call you right back. Don't go anywhere, Pete. Don't leave that seat. Okay, we're going to call you right back. If you're watching and listening right now on IkeLive.com, on Ike Live Facebook feed, give us 2 seconds. We're going to stop the feed and restart. So hang in there with us. When we come back, we're going to pick up right where we left off. Ike Live.